Hello, everybody. Now, as you all probably guessed by this point, my favorite film is Ice Age. I don't know what it is about that series, but every time I watch it, it just brings a smile to my face. I don't know. I guess it's just. I guess it's just the fact that you get to see Ice Age animals instead of the constant Mesozoic stuff you usually get. And the fact that animals that wouldn't normally show up in film show up in this series. So I'm going to go to these. I'm going to talk about something that I noticed throughout the Ice Age films. Yes, even the worst Ice Age film of them all, Ice Age 5. I hate that film. Anyway, putting biases aside and my rose-tinted glasses aside, what could we pick apart from this film? On the surface level, it seems like it's just an ordinary kids movie with Ice Age animals, but there's actually a little more depth to it. The first film, for example. Now, you may think, well, it's just about three guys trying to return a baby to their parents, but it actually goes a lot deeper than that. As the baby definitely looks like it represents how the characters are basically another side to Manny, Sid, and Diego. So there's that. So, and it kind of represents how certain movies and documentaries don't really use this to their advantage. I mean, you don't necessarily have to use it for a documentary, but for a film, it could be more useful. Of course, this isn't as in depth as in Ice Age 2, where a dam's breaking and they have to get to the end of the valley. Introducing Cretaceous and Maelstrom, representing how in real life our ancestors depicted animals as savage beasts in old depictions. When in nowadays, like even nowadays as in like 1776 to 2019, we see animals more like just more in depthly than what most films not films, most depictions back then were. What does the flood represent? Well, it doesn't seem to represent anything at first, but I got something out of it the more times I watched the movie, that it was most likely representing the opposite extreme, basically, the opposite extreme, saying that acting like the other, like you don't have a don't acting like you shouldn't have a reason to fear certain animals. And that's completely untrue. Even in our real world, there are certain animals that we technically fear. Like polar bears and lions and yeah. So we feel bad for the polar bears, for example, for their ice breaking apart. Yet at the same time, we fear them because of what they could do to us as a species. So that tends to bring up a lot of heated debates, and it can feel very stressful. So I love the symbolic nature of the flood in Ice Age: The Meltdown. Anything else? Anything else before I move on to the third movie? No. Much else. Anyway, the third movie. We see dinosaurs. And of course, the first thing you're gonna go like, oh, dinosaurs. I'm getting sick of seeing that. Ugh. Chill for a second, because we're gonna get in depth with these dinosaurs. Now, every dinosaur in the film, except for Rudy and the Glenn Long, are representatives of what we consider to be more modern depictions in dinosaurs as creatures, just like we see creatures in our modern day, like elephants and whales and all that stuff. And so does Mama Dino, and she is a very prominent character in the film. As we first meet her, we kind of fear her, but as we get to know her a bit more, she seems to be more of a loving character than we have previously seen. The exact opposite is for Rudy, as he starts off, we hear about him being sadistic and basically the antithesis of what Jurassic Park does to dinosaurs, and then we see him and he is actually that way. At first you're wondering, maybe he has some side to him that we didn't know. No, he's straight up the antithesis of what we call Jurassic Park. I think he also represents Jurassic Park fanboys, as in, no matter how much we state that Jurassic Park is not an accurate film in accordance to real life, for some reason, Jurassic Park fanboys and fangirls, let's be inclusive here, somehow keep going, oh, you're ruining my childhood. Oh. No matter how many times you say, science doesn't care what you think about it, so just admire the beauty. And so that brings the final nail in the coffin to Rudy. Thank you for watching.